Welcome back to this Money Control live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita Khemka.
And I'm Yatin Mota.
Well, Yatin, what a recovery that has kicked in today after the kind of scare that we saw yesterday, where we slipped somewhere around 250 points to 300 points on the Nifty. Today, we have managed to recoup, good amount of losses. We are up 100 points on the Nifty, and from the day's low or opening lows, we have come off somewhere around 200 points or thereabouts. So, good day of recovery. Sensex also, ending high by about 700 points or thereabouts, and the mid-cap end of the markets. Quite a lot of strength there. The mid-cap index ended high by about 1.7%, and the bank Nifty also managed to recover nearly 2% from the day's low. Aside of that, if you look at some of the movers on the index, you have the likes of BPCL, Power Grid, Britannia, HDFC Bank, Hindalco, NTPC, Kotak Bank, Reliance Industries as well, and SBI, that was one of the biggest contributor to the Nifty's fall yesterday, also ended in the green today, Yatin. Aside of that, if you look at the losers, you have the likes of Bajaj Auto, Bajaj Finance, Axis Bank, HCL Tech, Cipla, M&M Marzi. So some pharma names as well as some auto names are on the losers list. But Yatin, in the mid-cap end of the markets, as I mentioned, advance decline ratio was almost 4:1 today. Yesterday, the gainers to losers ratio was 1:9.
Correct.
And today, of course, some bit of strength returning, and of course, most of the analysts saying or experts saying that it was a healthy correction that got bought into. If you look at the mid-cap end of the markets, tell us about some of the movers today. The likes of IRCTC have staged a very good comeback.
Absolutely, and the advance decline ratio, Nandita, which was almost 1:5 yesterday, it's turned to 5:1. So that is the kind of recovery that we have seen in the market, especially on this weekly expiry day. As you were mentioning, most of the indices were strong, but the first index to recover intraday was the mid-cap index. And overall today, Nandita, the mid-cap index moved 750 points in the plus. So a very strong recovery intraday, and ending the day with a 750 point gain. We had IPO listing also, Inox India, which saw a strong momentum. In fact, that stock closed nearly 40% up to the issue price. But in the mid-caps, we had Hindustan Copper, Sham Metallics, BML, Metropolis, and whole host of these diagnostic stocks, given the fact that December is usually a flu season and corona cases are just moving higher, because of which all of these stocks were up. What was not doing well is the likes of Prestige Estates, Indian Bank, City Union Bank, all of these stocks witnessing some bit of selling pressure. But yes, it was a fantabulous session when stocks like IRCTC, IRFC, Reliance, Hindustan Copper, Aurobindo Pharma doing well in the F&O trade as well.
Well, of course, a day of strength after the scare that we got yesterday, but of course the dips were, bought into, so nothing really to worry about as we step into the holiday season. But let's take a look at some of the stocks that are on our radar on that note. Mazagon Dock, this particular stock, defense stock, gained somewhere around 4%, given the fact that the company has won its third order in the last 10 sessions, right? The latest order has been a 1600 crore rupee order that it bagged from the Defence Ministry. It has to construct as well as deliver 6 next-gen offshore petrol vehicles, in fact vessels rather, for the Indian Coast Guard, and now it will deliver the first vessel within 41 months, and after that all the other vessels will be delivered at 5-month intervals going forward. And recently the company had bagged a $42 million contract from a European client, wherein it is expected to construct 3 multi-purpose hybrid power vessels rather. It has also recently bagged an order from ONGC worth 1100 crore rupees for part replacement of a pipeline on a turnkey basis. Management, in fact, was very upbeat. It had retained the revenue guidance of 12 to 15% for FY24. If you look at the stock, I think the stock has gained somewhere around 170% on a YTD basis. And we know that defense stocks and PSU stocks have seen a very good run. But still, if you look at the trailing PE of this particular stock, it's still cheaper versus peers like Cochin Shipyards. So, there is some bit of upside here as well going forward, but defense as a pocket continues to do well going forward.
Absolutely, and that is one stock and a sector to watch out for. But Nandita, the other sector and few stocks to focus on will be the agri-chemical sector, wherein we have seen strong momentum recently. Obviously, after hitting multi-year lows, the shares of UPL have also recovered. Yeah. Now, if you see HSBC, they have come out with a report on the entire agri-chemicals sector, and they do believe that the dumping from China as well as from the European countries is likely to subside in the second half. In fact, the first half was quite painful because we also had an inventory correction and a price correction, because of which margins and top line both suffered. And now the expectation is that in the second half there could be some improvement in the overall scenario. Now we have HSBC, which believes that the target of UPL could be 750 rupees, which means that there could be a substantial upside in the overall share price of UPL. We also have stocks like I think it was
Yatin, but the good part is that UPL has made a very good recovery after hitting 52-week lows on a consistent basis. But also in focus is DLF, right? That stock, there was a report that has come out from Morgan Stanley, right? It has an overweight rating on the stock.
The 770
price
target,
of 770. Some new launches expected, Yatin, there?
Yeah. So if you look at the real estate sector, I think DLF is one stock which has outperformed the index, and not only that, the NCR region has seen some good growth. In fact, we have the project which has spanned over 28 acres with the average selling price of 18,000 rupees per square feet, which means that the potential sales of the project could be 9,000 crores. And we have seen a very strong booking response for the first phase of this project. In fact, this premium project which has been launched in the sector 77, which is Arbor, the project Arbor. It has 7 towers with almost 1100 plus units, including 14 penthouses, and assuming 50% of this pre-sales could happen in the December quarter, nearly 4,500 crores in sales could be generated from this particular project for DLF. So I think that momentum is really quite strong when it comes to DLF for the new launches, as well as the demand which is there in the NCR region.
That's true, Yatin, and of course, premiumization is the theme that most experts are betting on, and DLF, of course, has seen a lot of momentum because of the ultra luxury launches that it has made. But with that, I think we've come to the end of this edition of Closing Bell. Of course, we'll be back with the markets at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, so don't forget to tune in. But for now, you stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates. Thanks a lot from both Yatin and me for tuning in.